Wow, that's great. Okay, I'm doing a video. Don't talk to me, okay, baby? I love you. Okay, thanks, baby. Kids. Hey guys, I'm back. Oh my god. So, I want to talk to you guys today about the 5 reasons I moved out of my house. So, if you guys are new to my channel, first of all, welcome. Second of all, subscribe. Hit that bell notification so you guys are notified every time I post a video / vlog. Let me reel it back for some of you guys, because if you're new, you are confused about this. I've been a YouTuber, a vlogger for the past 5 years, and during that time when I first was introduced to YouTube, I was living in this house, and I was also at the time married with my 2 children. During my vlogs, a couple years in, I moved out and I moved to my parents' house. So while we were at our parents' house, or my mom's house, this home was being rented, and that was 3 years of this home being rented. I had 2 terrible tenants, like just my luck. And the last tenancy ended and I moved back into this home. So that just gives you a super condensed version of where I'm coming from and all that stuff. Since then, I've moved back into this house, and I'm explaining to you guys the 5 reasons why it was important for me to move back home or out of my parents' basement. So the first reason was motivation. Living at my parents' house, I really didn't feel pressure. I don't know if people are like me, but I need to feel like pressure. I need to feel like I need to do stuff. And if I don't feel that way, I can become very complacent. And that's how it was, because living with my mom and my dad, who I knew I could depend on, somehow created this space in my brain where I felt like, I mean, I didn't consciously feel this way. It was more subconscious, where I felt, if anything, you know, I have my parents, I live here, worst comes to worst. And having that subconscious mentality just took away that extra motivation that I need. I need that pressure and I need that motivation. And that's my personality. And I didn't even realize that this was my personality, because when I first moved in, my idea was to save up a whole bunch of money so I could purchase a home for myself and my family. That was the purpose of moving to my parents' house. That all got sidetracked, and during that time, my ex and I separated. So I was just now coasting. I was comfortable, you know, nothing to really worry about. I was taken care of. My kids were taken care of. If I needed anything, my parents were there. And that was part of the reason why I knew that I needed to move out. So that's part of it. Motivation, and I need that motivation, and having my own space and being completely responsible for my own life in every way is something that was important to me. Number 2, parenting. So, as you know, I have 2 children. My son is 7, he's turning 8, and my daughter is 11, going on 12. So, living with my parents for the past 3 years, it's been like there's been 3 parents in the home, like me, my mom, and my dad. I'm a bit more strict, and I want to instill routine. I want to, you know, eradicate certain behavior, and I'm just not as fun as my parents seem to be to my kids. Funny thing is, though, when I was a kid, it wasn't fun. Huh? Talk about that. When I was a kid, my parents were super strict. I couldn't even watch BET. I couldn't watch BET, guys. That's how strict they were. And now, years later, my parents are just so laid back and relaxed. So when my kids want to have cereal for breakfast, they don't even come to me. They completely overstep me and go to their grandparents. And it's not something that my parents have planned. It's just naturally, grandparents are softer on their grandchildren than they were on their own children. So that is like universal. Everybody knows that. So it's nothing really to do with targeting my parents as people who this or that. My children understand that they can do more, and there's more flexibility with my grandparents. Why do I keep saying that? With my parents, and that was a problem for me because it took away my authority. And so I felt like I need to be in a separated space. If they want to visit grandma and grandpa, and while they're there, I'm not there, you can have ice cream for dinner, you can do whatever you want. Not that my parents give them ice cream for dinner, but you can have that lenient relationship that you have with your grandparents. And then when that's done, you come back home, you spread your bed, you wash the dishes, and you do the things you gotta do. You know what I mean? So I felt like I needed that separation for my children's sake. Also, there's routine that I want to establish, and it just felt really difficult doing that, living with my parents, because some of the things that I wanted to establish, my parents didn't feel like it was necessary at that time. So for those reasons, I felt like I needed to be the parent that I wanted to be, and I have to do it by myself, you know? So anyways, comment down below if you guys know what I'm talking about with that grandchild complex, where the kids can get away with things that you couldn't get away with when you were their age. So comment down below. Third reason was environmental surroundings. So when I first moved to my parents' house, I was living upstairs. And then we felt that we needed more privacy or more like space. So I didn't renovate the basement, but I kind of redid it, you know, did the floors and put some drywall in and just did certain things to make it up to par. And we moved into the basement. But we didn't complete the project. It's not an apartment exactly. We just did enough to get by. There's a washroom, there's a bedroom. There's actually 2 bedrooms in the basement. So we shared one of the bedrooms during that time. And Naomi and Jordan were meant to share the other bedroom. Now, living in the basement, it honestly, I didn't realize that living in the basement would just zap all of my energy. There were no windows in the basement, so it was like nighttime all the time. The basement wasn't presentable for me to feel comfortable to vlog in. I know I might just be in my head about it, but I didn't feel proud of that space in terms of vlogging and putting it online and this and that. So if you guys remember, I did kind of decorate my bedroom eventually, and I did decorate a space in my living room area, but overall the space still had a lot of work left to be done. And so I didn't want to vlog in that surrounding. And so I decided to move here and create the space that I feel proud of, and a space that I feel like I enjoy waking up to, and I want to, you know, keep it clean. I want to decorate. I want to whatever, do all those things. But I didn't feel like I was trying to do that in the basement, in a half-done basement. That's just what it was. And you know, I spent a lot of money doing it up to where it is now, and I'd have to spend a whole lot more money to do it up further. And then I realized that I'm not necessarily going to be there for that long. So I was like, you know what? It didn't make any sense to continue to invest into the basement, because eventually I would need to move out, pretty much. The fourth reason was adulting. Being an adult. Sharing a space, again, with other people. You have to be respectful, you have to be mindful, and all of that. So during this virus situation, my mom and my dad, in my opinion, I don't know, they've been careful, I want to say. They've been careful, and during that time, I wasn't literally allowed. I wasn't able to leave the house at all. And I'm not saying that I'm going around to like thousands of people's houses during that time, during that stage of Corona. I might have wanted to visit like one person. I'll give you an example, like Miss Rosh Posh. I think she's safe, we're friends, but it didn't matter to my parents because they were very, very scared, basically at that time. And so me making an adult decision, like to go to my friend's house, that was disrespectful, because sharing a home with people who have different points of views or different worries or things that they're worried about, that wouldn't be fair. You know, my parents are older and they feel they are more vulnerable to this whole C word. So that in itself, I kind of felt like I was now 11 years old. I was 10 years old. I couldn't go outside. Couldn't leave the house. Couldn't make adult decisions. And so I felt like that was another reason why I needed to be on my own. I needed to be able to make adult decisions, like do adult things. You know what I mean? Again, I wasn't trying to like go to billions of places and hang out and all this stuff. I might have been one person, but I didn't want to continue to explain to my parents, love them dearly, love you mom, love you dad, but I'm over 30 and I really felt at times I was living a 12-year-old life with kids. I was basically another child, you know? So that was another reason why I felt like I need to be an adult and I need to participate in adult lifestyle. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I don't know if it has to do with the fact that I don't age. I still look 14 or 17. And I don't think my parents believe that I've aged. As much as I have two whole big grown children, I don't think that my parents believe that I'm an adult. Love you guys. And this is the fifth reason. And this is a really interesting one. So when my tenant, who was not paying the rent properly for like a long time, she left the place in a state. Watch my vlogs. The place was nasty. I'm still trying to get the dog smell out, but that's a whole nother story. So when she was moving out, I was considering renting to someone I knew, like renting the upstairs portion to someone that I knew, and then living in the basement. And, you know, I ran it by my parents, and they thought that that would be a great idea. And so Latoya and I, we connected recently, and we were chatting, and I told her what I was thinking of doing, and it was funny because her response was, "There are no windows!" And I was just like, oh my God, she's right. There are no windows. Ah! Literally, that's how I felt in my soul. I was like, oh my God, windows. It sounds weird, like, okay, windows, okay. But basically, how I digested that was like, I'm going to be living in another depressed environment. I'm moving out of a basement to move into another basement. Now, the purpose of that would be that I wouldn't have to carry as much expense by living in the basement and renting upstairs, so it would be cheaper. But who cares if I'm saving money if I'm in a place that is literally dark? It doesn't have windows like these windows are in here right now. And I'm telling you, light really does something to people. I need sun. I need vitamin D. So I was like, oh my God, that is so true. I'm going to go from a dungeon to a dungeon. And I also felt like, damn, y'all is tired of seeing this. You know what I mean, y'all? Yeah, I think my viewers, I know I don't have to really think this way, but it's in the back of my mind too, that my viewers, you guys who've been following me for so long, have been confused. Like, what are you doing, Rochelle? Are you growing or not? Are you growing or not? God, are you growing or not? I felt that way. And I was like, you know what? I need to have a growth mindset. And as scary as it was to take on the responsibility, it's not cheap. This place is not cheap. I'd also like to add to that where I was living in my mom and dad's basement, there's only 2 bedrooms in the basement. Naomi and Jordan's bedroom was actually enormous. So I had her bed on one end and his bed on the other end. But they're growing older, especially Naomi as a young girl. So for her to be sharing with Jordan when she needs a little bit more privacy as she's getting older also was part of the reason why I wasn't feeling comfortable to move into this basement again, because again, they would have to share another room. And as a parent, you know, you just want to do the best that you can for your kids. So I really wanted to allow them to get their own room eventually. So right now they are sharing a room, but that's only until I finish the flooring in the next room. And once I finish the flooring, then, you know, one of the kids can migrate to the other room. But the point is they'll have their own space. So as I was also saying, it's very expensive to live here. The mortgage is expensive, the this, the that, the groceries, all this stuff combined, water, electric, da da da. But I've also been there before. I've also paid all of those bills independently. So I'm like, you know what? I've done it before, I can do it again. Also, for me, the options were limited in terms of what to do with the property. I knew if I rented it out again, that means I'd be in a basement for another 12 months, which I just didn't want to do that again. So that's pretty much all the reasons, the 5 main reasons why I thought it was useful, helpful to me for me to move out. And also, this is such a big one. You guys make it possible. Of course, my income comes from making YouTube videos and being an influencer. And you guys have always been there for me. A lot of you, even when I stopped vlogging and I wasn't consistent, you guys were still rooting for me. I'm like a terrible YouTuber. And you guys still believed in me. You still want to watch my content. You're still rooting for me. And that just gives me the motivation to carry on. None of this would be possible without you guys encouraging me and supporting my channel. So I, of course, appreciate you guys for that. So I'm glad I'm able to give you guys the content that I want to give you guys. I enjoy making content for you guys, and you guys enjoy watching, and that makes me feel amazing. So pretty much that is the end of this video. So if you guys, understand my points, comment down below. I really want to conversate with you guys. I like to talk with you guys. I love to reply to your guys' comments. So make sure you guys message me and let me know if any of these points stand out to you, whether you live with your parents, whether you live on your own, whether you have kids or not. Let's chat. So that is it for today, and I see you guys. I will. Oh my gosh, I'm a Jamaican sometimes. I will see you guys in the next video. Okay, love you.